Doctors in the UK are hailing what they say is a miracle, a baby girl who was born to a mother using IVF and a donated womb. The baby's mother was born without a functioning uterus. She received her sister's womb in 2023, and recently she and her husband revealed the birth of their first daughter. The couple are in their late 30s and say they have hoped to have a second child. The Catholic Church strongly opposes IVF and largely opposes methods like womb donation, amid concerns of human dignity and the possible misuse of the technology. For more, we turn to Dr. Joseph Meany, past president and senior fellow of the National Catholic Bioethics Center. Dr. Meany, it's great to have you back with us. Reports in the United Kingdom are hailing this birth from a donated womb as a miracle. What are the ethical questions surrounding this? How should we think about this as Catholics?
Yeah, so organ transplantation requires a number of things to be ethical, and one is that the procedure is proportionate in terms of the risks and the benefits. And the womb transplants actually are quite dangerous. So that's the first thing against them. But the other problem, and I would say the major ethical problem with uterine transplantation, is that they are forced to use IVF to achieve pregnancy. So they're not able to achieve a natural pregnancy. They actually have to produce embryos in a lab in order to achieve these pregnancies.
Now, when we think about these innovations in science, immediately my mind goes to the use of these transplants for transgender surgeries. Is that something that you have in mind that you're worried about as well?
So that hasn't been done yet, but there are people discussing it, right? The idea of doing, sex change operations that would involve transplanting a uterus into a man, it's at the theoretical stage, but I think there are some people who would like to do that, which would, of course, be tremendously unethical as well.
And as we mentioned, this is the first known birth of a baby using a donated womb in the United Kingdom. What comes next? And is this something that will be widely practiced in other parts of the world?
So since 2014, there have been 100 cases of children who've been born through transplanted wombs. Started in Europe, actually, in Sweden, but now the United States has several. I mean, we've had dozens in the US in different parts of the country. So this is definitely picking up speed. And it's being done more in different parts of the world.
And might we see an uptick with the Trump administration pushing IVF?
It could be, yeah, because I mean, this is something that is kind of part of that whole IVF industry is, not only using surrogate women, but also using surrogate wombs in the sense of do these organ transplants. So that I think is part of the agenda out there in terms of treating infertility in ways that are highly unethical.
Now, switching gears slightly to a different story, recently there was a partial victory in court for a pro-life pregnancy center in Illinois. Tell us a little bit about NIFLA versus Tredo and why you think it's good news or bad news.
Yeah, so it is definitely mixed news. I mean, so the pro-life pregnancy centers and doctors are not going to be required to talk about the benefits of abortion, which the law had said that they would force pro-life pregnancy centers to tell the women who came to them about the benefits of abortion. So that clearly was just terrible and was struck down as unconstitutional. But there was also provision that if they would not provide abortions, they would have to refer for abortion. And that the district court judge ruled was constitutional. And so that's going to be appealed to the Seventh Circuit Court. But of course, that is terrible from an ethical perspective. You cannot refer a person for a completely unethical procedure. It's formal cooperation with evil. The church says you can never do that. And so they're basically forcing, people to violate their consciences to physicians in particular to refer patients on to someone that they know will provide an abortion. That can never be done.
Well, it's something that we know the Supreme Court has looked at before, so we'll be looking out for that appeal. Thank you so much, Dr. Meany.
Thank you.